The Nashville Predators. How about Barry Trotz and the Nashville Predators? Now, you can go on July 1, you can spend a bunch of dough, and like you say, everyone's gonna say, you did great. You did awesome. What do you make? I'll throw it out there because Steven Stamkos, you'd been really you were on record. You had said, if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm not bringing him back.
Yep.
I'm not giving him another long-term big money deal. I'm not doing it. And they didn't. They very much, Julian Breezebois, like Conroy and so many executives, listening to Barnburner, listening to Warner do his thing. Barry Trotz goes 4 years, $8 million per for Steven Stamkos to go to Nashville. They also add Jonathan Marchessault from the Vegas Golden Knights, 5 years, $5.5 million per. Defenseman Brady Shea, he comes in and goes 7 years, $7 million per. They were going to, it's like they're going to maybe trade Saros. They're not trading Saros. They signed him 8 years, $7.74 million per. They got a backup in Scott Wedgwood. Alexander Carrier comes in as well. So this is a team that already with Philip Forsberg and Roman Josi and Saros, he's going to be there. You now add Stamkos and Marchessault and Shea. What do you didn't like Tampa Bay giving Stamkos that money. What do you think of Nashville giving him that money?
I don't. In general, I thought a lot of older guys got a lot of money on a lot of long-term deals. Now, the 4 years might not seem like terribly long, but he's 34, correct?
Yeah,
he's
there.
I don't dislike it, but I don't think he needed to do it. I think Nashville went from out of the playoffs, going to sell to one hell of a hot streak. And I think maybe that team gelled and they came together. And I think Burnett's a great coach. I just don't know why you want to go older in today's game. I don't Marchessault. I think he's a really good player. And 5.5 seems more appealing than an $8 million albatross, because if Stamkos ever slows down,
yeah,
that's what you've got. I'm not appalled at anything. I feel like you're better off continuing to build than going and signing all these, especially the amount of players they brought in. Like, one of the strengths of the Nashville team last year was the fact that they gelled and came together as a team, and all of a sudden they're playing really good hockey the second half of the year. Yeah. What happens? You got 6 new guys in there. Yeah. Well, I don't know how, maybe it's not quite 6, but it's a lot of big personality, and maybe not even big personality, but key players that are going to take spots where other guys had been. You're not going to bring in Stamkos and put him on a checking role. So I don't know. They must feel like they're close if that's what they're going.
I see both sides. I think the other part of it has to be, we see Dallas, you see it's the tax-free markets, right?
Yep.
That you come here, no one wanted to really be in Florida, but all of a sudden, hey, it's tax-free and the weather's okay and the team's really good. We like being in Florida. Nashville's never really got there. They had Paul Kariya, they had Peter Forsberg, right? Like, there was maybe there's subtraction, but it never. I think this is their stab at saying, look, players will come here. We're a tax-free. We can be a good team, all that sort of thing. Does Marchessault sign if Stamkos also isn't there because they were teammates in Tampa Bay? I don't know. Marchessault said they talked before he signed. I kind of get it, but at the same time, I'm with you. These types of deals could age really poorly, really quickly.
Well, and again, I always go back to who knows them the best.
Yeah, the teams that just
right. Like, if Breezebois thought that Stamkos had 6 good years left, do you think he's letting him walk? Probably not. I don't know. I know what you're saying as well as about Nashville, and it is a good tax situation, and they might be finally trying to take a stab at it. I just don't ever see these teams that try and take these stabs ever. That's how they get successful. Like, what did Florida do to elevate from where they were 3-4 years ago to what they are? I guess Tkachuk, but that's a trade.
Mhm.
That's not a free agent signing. Like, what teams in the last 5 years have made a free? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe free agent, but who? I don't think. Like,
Yeah, it's generally not
it's
the
not usually the way to success. You can maybe add one piece like that defenseman Shea. Absolutely,
yeah.
he's going to play good D, and I'm okay with that. But to do a whole bunch of pieces, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. All it takes is one long playoff run, and it's all worth it. But I just don't know that. I guess you maybe Florida say Bobrovsky.
They also have a recent first round pick, Ashkarov, the goaltender, who has to be looking now. So you brought in Wedgwood for 2 years. You've signed Saros for 8. They're going to you got to trade this guy. And the word around the draft was they're going to want a top 5 like they want high end prospect for this. Of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have six pack abs.
Celebrini, but
These are not likely going to be happening anytime soon. Maybe chance. We'll see. There is a lot to like there. Like you say, you like the coach. Barry Trotz trying to get some things done as a GM. Everybody loves Barry Trotz. It is a great town. They aren't terrible, but they've always had that kind of we're good goaltending, good on D, but we don't really have a whole lot up front. We're not very explosive. Maybe they can be a team that feasts on a 30% power play and gets some wins. Who knows? But they go and they spend some money to be sure. At the very least, 4 years for Stamkos. Still, how old are you going to be when it's done? At least the term is not terrible. Now, the Lightning, they save the Stamkos money. They give all of it and more to Jake Guentzel. They trade for his rights prior to July 1. They keep him 7 years, $9 million per. That is all the money for Jake Guentzel. I like the player. I've talked to him. Love to have a guy like Jake Guentzel. This guy plays hard. I thought he was okay, good to okay for Carolina, but obviously wasn't enough to push them over the hump. But you're running to get a pen when Tampa Bay says, "How about 7 times 9?"
Oh God, yeah.
Scored 40 twice.
That's the catch for me with the Stamkos thing. It's like, do I want Guentzel at 9 for 7 years, or do I want Stamkos for less for 4? Like, I don't know what was being played out against each other. I just don't know that Guentzel's $9 million for me. That's like a Lindstrom, like the Flames last year, not Lindstrom. Does that sound right? The way I said it? Sure. Yeah. That's like the Flames. For lack of a better word, caving to Lindstrom last summer, saying, yeah, take it. We'll give it to you. I think Guentzel might be a slightly better player, but is he 9 times 7? Oof,
Are you meaning Lindholm?
Lindholm, that's the word I was looking for. That's where I was hoping for you to jump in, yeah.
I wasn't sure you were talking about Caden Lindstrom, who was just drafted, and then
Lidstrom, no, the defenseman, he was really good in Detroit. No,
hey, it's okay.
Lindholm.
Yeah,
Lindholm is the word. Yeah. But to me, it's a bit like that. Like, you give them everything. And I don't know that I don't know if they're a Guentzel away. I didn't think he was that good in the playoffs. He was good, but I think that's what he is. Good.
Yeah. It's a change. He's 29. He's had, as I said, 2 40-goal seasons. He's a very good player. But 9 feels like your elite territory when you start looking around. And I know that you can't just go get elite guys, but they're spending a little bit more, or it's Stamkos money for Guentzel, and maybe you're getting more production, different production. Who knows? It's a change anyway. And that was the other thing, and you had kind of said it. You won some cups here, but you've lost to Florida. You didn't get out of round number 1 this year. You're up against it. You need to change something.
Yes, I think there has to be change. And if Kucherov and Point setting you up, maybe Guentzel's going to have one hell of a year, and maybe 9 won't sound like any problem.
Yeah,
but I do think that the Tampa needed to make some changes, so I guess they've done that with Stamkos leaving, and then Guentzel. Like, it's even a bigger deal, but I don't know. They'll be good. I just don't know. I do believe there's more changes that need to be made, only because the team's been together so long.
It feels like, in a way, they had the gift of the Stamkos contract expiring.
Mhm.
Here you go. Here's a contract. Here's a bunch of cap space back, some flexibility, some freedom. You can finally breathe a little bit under the salary cap, and then you just blow your brains out again.
Yes.
It none of these deals age well, and I mean, we'll talk about Toronto in a minute. I guess if you run your team, if you run things based on long-term, smart, whatever you want, I guess that's because no one does it. No one really does it. They spend and spend and spend and worry about it later. So also today, Victor Hedman signs a contract extension, 4 more years, 32 million, 8 million per. That's not bad, eh? 8 million for Victor Hedman.
Yeah, take that.
So Guentzel's making 9 and I'm making 8. What the H is going on here? Anyway, you mentioned Lindholm. He wanted 9 million. He turned down, we're to believe he turned down 8 times 8 from the Flames. Goes to Boston, 7 years, $7.75 million, which still feels like an awful lot for Elias Lindholm.
Especially after the way he performed last year. If last year was supposed to be his big year,
it didn't look...
wasn't very big.
He's 29. Last year had 15 goals.
15.
44 points between the Flames and Vancouver. Didn't really fit in either spot.
44 points.
I believe that's correct. 32 with the Flames, another 12 with Vancouver. Had 10 and 13 in the postseason. But yeah, it was a bad year. It was a bad year, and we felt like he had cost himself a bunch of money. Now, I guess he did if he was looking for 9 times 8, right? But he was never going to get 9. He'll go to Boston. It's a good team.
It's a good fit.
If he can regain.
But he needs to play. He needs to be a really solid centerman again.
Yeah.
44 points ain't going to do it.
Fresh start, different conference. It's a huge life change for him.
Wasn't Vancouver supposed to be the fresh start and the uplifting and the pouty pants was ending? I don't know.
I don't know either. They also dip into the former Flame and Canuck pool. Nikita Zadorov signs 6 years, $5 million per.
I think they'll be sick of him in 3.
Yeah, I
don't even dislike the player. I just you just see the track record of the teams he's been on, and there's always circumstances and this and that and teams and blah blah blah. But 6 years for a guy that's moved around a lot.
Yeah,
I think he can play good. I liked how he played against Edmonton in the playoffs. I think he had a really good year. I think he believes in himself, maybe a little too much at times. I think he'll be effective, but I think he'll wear out his welcome eventually.
That feels very much to me like if you go to 6 years, we'll do it, right? You squeeze that extra year, because 5 feels like kind of the max for a guy like that, and they go 6. Drafted by Buffalo, as you mentioned, 2 years there, then goes to Colorado, then a year in Chicago, comes to Calgary for 3, then spends basically the full season, 54 games, I guess, with the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver really wanted to keep him. I don't think that was lip service. I think they wanted, and you wonder now, right? Here's a team that wanted you, and you played well there. You thrived. You had the fit was a good one. And you elected to say, no, I'm going elsewhere. I get you've been in this position. I'm guessing none of the rest of us have. But when you look at it and say, it's money, man. We are talking about 6 times 5. That's even I can do that math. And I don't think he was going to get that kind of dough from Vancouver. So anyway, that's the Boston story. So I guess good luck to both Elias and Nikita.
Go get them.
Or we don't care. So the Florida Panthers, they bring back Sam Reinhart and Dmitry Kulikov. They lose Montour. They lose Lomberg, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So the Cup champs, they'll retool and they'll go back at it.
The Reinhart's deal.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was crazy.
Had to keep him.
Yeah, I think so.
there again, great fit. You've seen the other side and how it works when you don't win and don't make the playoffs and live in a whatever. I don't want to shit
Yeah.
on Buffalo, but I think it would be easy right now to sign that extension. That's why I wonder for some of these guys, like again, Montour, we'll talk about him. He got all the money. Lomberg got a ton of
Good
money to
player, yeah.
leave, but it'd be hard to go. They're still like body surfing in the ocean.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to actually. I would have to get McLeod Law involved in this. Like, if you're drunk and signing these contracts, is it still
binding?
Is it?
I was so hammered.
I didn't even know I signed it.
It was Canada Day. I was bombed. I was on mushrooms, and come on.
Can't hold me to this. Reinhardt
Am I
wakes
really
up in a
going
week.
to
What?
Utah? No. Washington.
What did Montour get?
Okay, we can jump there. 7 years, 7.14 million per. So that's your career deal. Another guy that bounced around in Anaheim, good young D. I wonder why Anaheim got rid of him. Then Buffalo, like, geez, good player, goes to Florida. It was always that. And I guess it was because we're probably gonna have to pay this guy $7 million a year on a long-term deal, and he's gonna just walk. Boy, it's a lot of dough.
It's a lot of dough. I think he flourished in Florida. Obviously, he had a good fit in the big win there,
Yeah.
but wasn't as good this last playoffs as the year before. I didn't think.
His regular season last year was superb and not as good this year as well. So, Seattle, the Kraken, Ron Francis. Maybe check him. Was he on shrooms? I don't know. Do they do that in Seattle, or is it all just weed?
No, they mix and mingle.
Is it all? Because he goes 7 times 7 basically on Montour, and then Chandler Stevenson won a cup with Washington, went to Vegas, won another cup there. Good centerman, good player. 7 years, 6.25 million. So you're locking a couple guys in here.
A lot of dough, and wish you well.
Yeah. Oh, maybe the Flames could use some. Are they gonna sign a guy like Chandler Stevenson? Holy smokers!
No, you go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, Ronnie, he's all yours. 30 years old, had 16 goals and 51 points. His career high is 21, and he had that in Vegas the year before they won the Stanley Cup. But man,
a good player. Took the cup to Emma Lake. Good guy.
Did he? Eh? He's Saskatoon boy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I have no idea the depth of where Seattle is. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
As far as their lineup goes, so maybe it's a really good fit, but it just feels like another free agent July 1st signing. It's like, okay, I'm going to get the money.
Yeah. I didn't see what the media day stuff with Ron Francis was, but I'm betting these guys are winners. They both have rings and leadership and veteran presence and intangibles, I'm guessing, is a lot of what he maybe would have trotted out there. Because if it's just on level of play,
yeah.
I mean, Montour's not a 1-2, not a universal 1-2, and Chandler Stevenson's I don't think he's a universal number 1. And I guess for a number 1 center, you're not going to get it 6.25. Anyway, that's the Seattle story. The Vegas watched Marchessault leave. Stevenson, as we mentioned. Alec Martinez goes to Chicago. Mantha leaves to Calgary, although he barely played there. They signed Ilya Samsonov, the former Leaf goalie, 1 year, $1.8 million. So that's the scoop there. I'm waiting on the Leafs till the very end. Jake DeBrusk not coming to Calgary. Vancouver, 7 years, $5.5 million per to go and play with whatever they got there.
Sedins.
Yeah. And Burrows. So good luck to Jake.
I like that signing, actually.
Yes, you know what? For a team that feels like they're there, we're going to be a good team. We're kind of in whatever window to win. We're a competitive team. We expect now for the next 5 years, we're going to be a playoff team. Get in and see what happens. I like DeBrusk. I don't think 5.5 is crazy. It never really felt like he was long for Boston, oddly.
Didn't feel happy in Boston.
He was in, he was out, he was in, he was out. They changed the coach. It didn't really seem to affect the tone there. I thought he was good for them in the postseason. So he goes to Vancouver. Also, big hulking defenseman Vincent Desharnais of the Oilers went to Vancouver.
Oh.
Yeah. Carolina, they lose Guentzel and Shea and Pesci. Shane Gostisbehere goes in. Sean Walker, who was traded from Philly to Colorado, he signs there. The Blackhawks did a whole bunch of stuff. Tyler Bertuzzi leaves the Leafs, goes to Chicago, 4 years, $5.5 million. Pat Maroon continues to find work. 1 year, $1.3 million. 1.3.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a lot of money in the real world. It doesn't sound $1 million doesn't sound like hardly anything in NHL dollars. I just don't understand why these old guys keep like. Okay,
You've already
they
got
won.
Foligno there, right? As the veteran old guy, good in that sort of guy.
Keep the kids and bring them along.
Yeah.
Like Pat couldn't keep up last year. I liked him as a player for a long time.
Yeah.
Couldn't keep up.
And they're in that spot. They got all kinds of cap space. They can spend all they want. Just supplement the roster with some veterans, I guess, because they look like they're going to be young.
You gotta keep up.
But yeah, that one was interesting. Teravainen goes back. He was originally a Chicago Blackhawk. Laurent Brossoit, Larry Brossoit signs there as well. And yeah, TJ Brody, 2 years, 3.75 per. Good luck, Tej. Was good in Toronto, and then was kind of in and out of the lineup.
Was good in Toronto, and then really wasn't.
And seemed like he really wasn't. So
on a not very deep decor, correct?
Yeah, not real deep. Sean Monahan, Columbus Blue Jackets. 5 years, $5.5 million each.
Do you want to smash your head against the wall when you hear that?
Like walk me through it.
For me, I want to smash my head against the wall because we got rid of him and threw a first in. Just here you go.
Yeah,
he can't play anymore. He's the shits, and now he's gonna go make 5.5 or whatever for 5 more years in Columbus. And I don't think he was a player he was, but we could have just sat on that contract. We wouldn't have a Kadri contract probably because they wouldn't have been able to afford him, and we would have it goes back to asset management and how it was not managed in those circumstances.
Yeah, that was not ideal.
It
to
was
be sure.
Insanity.
Yeah, that was a rough off season in hindsight. You can't do anything about Gaudreau, I guess. Nope. You tried. You did everything you could. And yeah, you can go back. Well, should you have signed them? Okay, there's so many layers. But for that offseason, Tkachuk needs out. You got what looked to be a very good, fair deal. And then you sign them. And that was an emotional signing, which is, and Pinder said it. That's not a Treliving calling card. He takes time. He's patient. With RFAs, he makes them wait. This was Calgary's taking a shit kicking. Everyone thinks the Calgary's a shit town. Here's a guy that wants to stay. Let's sign him. And
here's a guy that wants to stay. That's not a guy. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. And then, so are they better this year? They might be better this year than they were last year because Monahan or
retool is where we're at, folks. Retool.
Huberdeau's this, and Uyghur is that. All that goes in. They trade. We can sign Nazem Kadri, but we don't have this. We'd have to get rid of Monahan, but we'd have to give a first for someone to take him.
Really need Kadri.
And you know what? Now, I guess if you're done beating your head against the wall, did you see any of this happening with Monahan? Because he was so beat up and so banged up. He then went to Montreal and was pretty good, played in Winnipeg, was strong, and now has a 5-year deal.
I didn't see it happening, but I sure as hell didn't see 1 year of giving him a chance. He was either going to get frickin' injured again and be on your IR, or else he was right. Like it was 1 year. It was 1 year.
Yeah.
For a good soldier. For a guy that had come up through your ranks and tried to play and had bad luck with injuries and surgeries and all that. And you
probably would be your captain if he didn't leave.
Yeah.
Hard to say. So, of course, the connection there, he and Johnny back together. They'll try and
good luck
rekindle things there. The Oilers were quite busy. They get Jeff Skinner, who was bought out in Buffalo. He's going there on a 1-year deal for $3 million. I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I heard it trotted out there, and maybe it's been because again, I was not around my laptop all day. $100 million in earnings, 0 playoff games for Jeff Skinner. Yeah. And it's not as though he's an old fart or can't play. I like the signing for the Oilers.
$1 million,
right? $3 million is
could probably put the puck in the net and play on a power play and score you some goals. And
I don't think he's a malcontent. I think he's a fairly likable guy. He's 32, had 24 goals for the Sabres last year, 35 the year before, 33 the year before that. So the guy can still score. It didn't really work in Buffalo. It looked like it was going to, and that was he comes to Buffalo, puts up a great season with Eichel. Hey, we got to keep Eichel happy. Sign him. Bam.
Yeah. He's completely one-dimensional, and if he's not scoring, he's pretty much useless on your ice. But I think he did I think it did work in Buffalo as far as what he put up for the most, right? Like you just said 25, 35, like some really big seasons as far as scoring goals. There were other times where they'd bench him and he was not going to be played by Lindy Ruff. So he wasn't playing the Lindy Ruff style of hockey. $3 million up in Edmonton, a guy that can put the puck in the net with those guys, that's probably a great fit.
It'll be a test of this revamped D that they have. Because like you say, there's a few guys on that Oiler roster that aren't great at keeping the puck out of their own end. This is a guy who would fall into that category. Connor Brown back on a 1-year deal. Corey Perry back 1 year, $1.4 million.
Don't get it.
Just walk me through the contract negotiation. Why is it not league min? We were 1 game away from winning the cup. You want to be here? Okay, we'd like to have you. You're not going to be an every night guy. You're not playing 82, and we'll give you the league minimum. You've made millions of dollars in your. Why is it 1.4? Who are you bidding against?
Why is it anything at all?
Yeah, not sure.
Honestly, and again, Corey Perry on your team, love him, goes to the finals 5 years. You don't need him. He couldn't keep up at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Did he make smart plays? Yeah. Or did he go to the net on that one play when McDavid set him up for an unbelievable? Okay. But don't you want to start filling?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I guess if he's easy enough to bench or whatever, or not, it's not a ton of cap.
But that's why you're benching a guy?
I know.
That's why you're signing a guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's easy to sit and stand. It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, it's no money. Yes, but it's a roster spot.
Yeah.
It's a roster spot.
They traded for Adam Henrique at the deadline. They keep him 2 years, $3 million per. Matthias Janmark was good for them in that penalty kill energy role, 3 years, gets some term, $1.45 million. And Victor Arvidsson, the former Predator and LA King, goes in 2 years, $4 million per. I was a big fan of Arvidsson when he was with the Predators. Guy has got a motor. He goes, can score, but it hasn't played a full season in a while. Last year, 18 games, 77 before that, 66, 50, 57. Now there's a lockout in there, or the COVID shortened. Injuries have kind of dogged him for a little bit. Last year, 6 goals, 15 points in 18 games. I like him. I don't know what he's got left, I guess.
Yeah, if he's healthy, I think it'll be a good signing.
Yeah. But I just wonder, there's probably going to be some guys maybe that you're going to want to pay in the next 2 years.
This is the whole Edmonton. I'm not. Part of the problem with getting close is that you think you're close.
Yeah.
And so you treat it as we're gonna. Who the hell knows? Like, I've been in the room after you lose.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get there next year. Well, you know what doesn't happen? Not very often do you get there next year. Florida did it, I guess. And teams do it, but there is no guarantees. And if you're going to do Arvidsson, then you shouldn't. I don't know why they're handcuffing themselves so much to the cap.
Because they bought out Campbell to get some salary.
Yeah.
And then, you Skinner, $3 million. Okay. Again, I don't know that you need him. I don't know.
That you do. All of that stuff to me is like, I don't know if you could have got him, but if you don't re-sign, or if you don't get Skinner and you don't get Arvidsson, that's $7 million, right?
$7 million.
My math. Go get
Corey Perry, 1.4.
Go get a defenseman.
So that's $8.5 million this season. Now Perry's 1 year, Skinner's 1 year, but even by next summer,
you have 1 year.
Do you have? But if
you might have 1 year to get this done.
You've now got 2 years of Henrique and 3 years of Janmark and 2 years of Arvidsson. I don't know. Everyone seems to really think. I saw people think this Edmonton won yesterday. Edmonton won July 1. And they may have. We will see. Duchesne back to Dallas, 1 year, $3 million. Matt Dumba, 2 years, $5.5 million to go to Dallas. Tyler Toffoli says, I'm tired of moving around, man. I'm tired of it. 4 years, $6 million per in San Jose.
Love it.
He likes California. It's not LA, but it's not bad.
Be all right. Play with me. Can I play with Celebrini?
Yeah. Can I play with the new kid?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. Speaking of LA, Warren Fogle leaves the Oilers, goes to Los Angeles. Joel Edmondson, who I remember we were talking about it with Pinder, and he was crushing the Joel Edmondson, the move to Toronto at the deadline. It's like, this guy can't fucking play. This guy, I mean, whatever. He's in and out. 4 years, $3.85 million each for Joel Edmondson. Does Rob Blake know what he's doing down there?
Again, I don't know enough about the Kings and roster and holes and what they need, but it does seem like a lot.
Okay, well, we've tap danced around it here. The Toronto Maple Leafs.
The Bucks.
They made a trade prior to July 1 to acquire the rights to Chris Tanev, who we thought this would be great for him. Stay in Dallas. Gonna love it down there.
What a fit.
Don't know what happened, right? Don't know what happened. My guess is someone got in his agent's ear, and then his agent got into Tanev's ear and says, you know what? I have a funny feeling. I haven't talked to anybody because that'd be tampering. But I wonder if there's maybe a 5 or 6 year deal out there that would be available to us. 6 years? Do they know how old I am? Come on, are you playing? No, I think maybe. Just hold off if term is what you want. Anyway, Toronto trades for his rights. They sign him 6 years, $4.5 million per. 6.
Great job, Chris. Great job last year. You maximized your return.
Yeah. It's great for him.
Great for him. Home, too. Isn't that where he's from?
For him. He's from Toronto, Rhett.
There you go. Going home and getting all the dough. And years.
Yeah. Got into...
And I feel bad for the Leaf fans because every hit, you're going to hold your breath, and then he's going to go down the tunnel, and you're going to be like, son of... Is he coming back? I don't know. He's been under there for a long time. Oh, he's back. Oh.
Played 75 games last year, 65 the year before, 82 before that. And we've talked about it. The whole thing was, he's can't stay healthy, can't stay. He was pretty healthy, Calgary Flame.
It's pretty good.
Was a pretty friggin' healthy guy. But he's 34 and signed a 6-year deal. And I get it. We don't care. Treliving, he doesn't care. I've got Tavares right now who can still play. I've got Marner who I don't think is gonna. I think he's just gonna stay
He's
there,
not going anywhere.
right? So let's. We use it.
We have
Burn
to
the
go for it.
boats. It
Yeah.
feels like a burn the boats kind of a day. They bring in the 34-year-old Tanev. Oliver Ekman-Larsson comes in, who was bought out in Vancouver, goes to Florida, 4 years, $3.5 million. Again, it's not so much the dough, but it's the term. It's a 4-year deal for a guy who is well past his prime. I thought he was okay, but
He was okay in the playoffs, but not.
on that team, in that system, he's 32, so it's 36, 37 by the time he's done. Yanni Hakanpää, the former star, he's again a big, lumbering, tough, I guess. He's a big guy. 2 years, 1.5 million. They move on from Samsonov. Their goaltending tandem is going to be Joseph Wall, who got signed to a 3-year deal, 3.66 million, and Anthony Stolarz, who was the Panthers backup. He comes in. So Stolarz and Wall in net, and they add Tanev, Ekman-Larsson, and Hakanpää to their blue line. There's some gray beards there when you start to throw in Tavares isn't a kid either.
It all makes sense from, when you think about it from Treliving's standpoint, where the team is. I just don't know that what they've done. The guys that haven't got them there yet are still going to be the guys that need them to get them there. And what he's done is not going to be Tanev will help if he's healthy. Ekman-Larsson's probably fine.
Yeah.
Hakanpää is not going to be impactful at all. In your goaltending, I don't know. Is that tandem wow ya? Probably not. It's about the big four.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's changed except if it doesn't work out, they're going to be stuck with shitty deals. But maybe if it doesn't work out, those guys are going to go, and all that money and cap crunch isn't going to be a concern.
Yeah, maybe, and the cap keeps going up. And with Tanev, it's like you said about how maybe the Kadri deal goes. Tanev's back; he just can't do it anymore. So it's LTIR, and the Leafs have all the money in the world. They don't care about real dollars.
No,
you get them off the cap and moving on.
That deal, I'm betting that was 2 years longer than what Dallas was.
I can't imagine, because you'd be okay. 4 years, we'll do 4. I think he gets 6. What?
Yeah.
Who is giving him a 6-year deal?
Because 1 year more, the tax situation in Toronto's probably, I don't know if this is 2 years. Done.
Yeah. And like you say, he's a Toronto guy. Maybe there is that draw.
He's done damn good, and good for him. He's earned it in the way he plays. We all love it. Be happy to watch him compete in Toronto. I don't care. I'm not a Leafs fan, but whatever. I don't think those moves have any impact on, and it's hard to say that because Tanev is a hell of a defender. Yeah. But their depth on defense is still not good enough to me that's what's going to be impactful. Maybe it's not a detriment as much because Tanev fills some holes and Larsson fills some holes that you're not as limited defensively, but it's going to be up to the guys that have been there. It's those guys that have to drive the bus. A lot can happen, but on dailyfaceoff.com, the way they have their D kind of laid out, Morgan Riley with Tanev on the right side, Timothy Liljegren on the right side with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Jake McCabe, who's a decent guy, and Simon Benoit. I don't even know if he's French. I liked him in the playoffs. I thought he was pretty strong for it. So it's okay. There's no Victor Hedman or Cale Makar in there, and that's probably unfair. But you needed to upgrade your blue line, and Treliving went to market and did the best, I guess, that he could. And Hakanpää will be in there somewhere as well. I think what you said is the key. The best that he could. I think there were better defensemen out there that they didn't get, whether they were targeting them or not. Yeah. Tanev with Riley, sure, I get it in the line. I don't think he should be a top 2. Like if he's playing that many minutes, that's just more wear and tear. I just
yeah, it's hey, listen, we like Tree. Good luck, Tree.
damn right.
Go get it.
I would bet Treliving is happy with the Tanev sighting, and aside from that, nothing that's happened in the last 2 weeks. I don't mean it. I would bet he was trying to do a lot more, and it didn't work out for him.
I think that's probably true. Bertuzzi leaves. Bertuzzi really, I thought it was a year ago when they got him. I like this Bertuzzi. Got some edge to him. Was just okay as a Leaf, I thought. They keep Domi. He resigns to stick around. But I wonder what else would they
They had to be in the market for a real big time goalie, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have expected that. Markstrom, somebody. Right? Yeah. Like, I just think that I would, again, sitting in my couch.
And maybe, maybe Boston isn't going to trade Allmark there because, it's
maybe
conference division, that whole thing. For a guy like you see here, clearly, Treliving's got all the balls. He'll spend. He doesn't care. Was it 6 years? Whatever. I don't give a shit. Do it. What kept him from getting a Markstrom deal?
I don't know. That one is still confusing to me because the price Markstrom maybe.
Fair enough.
That's probably what it was. Markstrom is probably the reason he didn't get it done. And the Flames ended up with what they got. Because when I look at it, you just look at it, all things being equal. If I'm the Leafs, I'm offering more than what the Flames got from Jersey. But I got to think that Markstrom was like, no, I'm not going there.
What if you're Markstrom? New Jersey or Toronto?
I don't know. I don't know what drives the guy. I mean, clearly he doesn't like.
I just mean for you. If it were you,
Toronto, I'd go to Toronto.
Would you?
I would absolutely. Everyone always bitches. The pressure. What are you talking about? You're trying to win a cup. Does it matter what city you're in? So you go to the market and somebody goes, I was out for pizza yesterday and someone shook my hand. Oh no. Like, what are we talking about? And I get it that if you're a player and but they're treated like gold in Toronto. You win a cup there, you're legendary forever. I would be way more open to Toronto than other people make it seem like it's so hard to play there.
Because you would have, I would think probably when you look at it in terms of chances to win, maybe New Jersey's ahead of Toronto, maybe Toronto's ahead of New Jersey, but feels kind of level, don't you? Yeah. And if you want to
coach Markstrom, who's coaching in Jersey? Oh no, he went to Ottawa.
Yeah,
Green.
Yeah, no, it's what was the guy?
Keefe.
Sheldon Keefe, and then
Toronto.
Craig Berube in Toronto.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm guessing Markstrom had it in his head that he would go to Jersey, and that's it. And it's his prerogative. You get that? No move.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long-form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.